that one will go, if they do it, will go viral to the point that we haven't seen before. Like it'll go like Stranger Things and above viral because of just the built-in story, and if they produce it correctly, and if they get a good actor to play it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Popcorn Talks. I'm one half of the podcast, RelayTS, alongside me, Crenbeast. We got a lot to unpack for you guys today. Probably not as long as our previous episode, but we got some news about Netflix and a few other things. So, Cren, you can take it away.
Yeah, so we have a few release dates to talk about. We're going to speculate on some, give you some. We're going to talk about some new Netflix shows coming in the month of November. We're going to talk about some movies coming. One in particular that I'm super excited for that'll only be in theaters for one single day ever. And then just some other news that we've gotten. And then also a little bit of speculation on a certain superhero in the DC universe that has given us a tidbit of information that we have no clue what the heck is going on. But just a quick reminder, if you're listening to us on podcast version, no matter where you are, leave us a 5-star review. We are actually going to be doing a giveaway with that. If you leave us a 5-star review and follow our Twitter, you can find out about it there. We'll let you know more soon. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and then turn notifications on. But with that being said, Netflix has some new shows coming out. So we know about 1899. We know about Wednesday. We'll talk about that a little bit because I know we're super excited about it. But since Manifest Season 4 did just wrap up, Stranger Things Day did just wrap up, we got some news with Outer Banks. Let's talk a little bit about some of the bigger shows on Netflix and like when their release dates could be. And then, because we know some. Madeline Klein made sure that we knew Outer Banks' release date.
Yeah.
So that comes out February 24th. Well, the weekend of February 24th.
Yeah.
Right?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, so
February 24th, give or take a day or two.
Yeah, so super excited about that. And do we know if they're doing a part 1 and part 2?
Yeah, they are.
So I
think part 1's in February, and then part 2 is going to be later in March. I believe so, with Outer Banks.
So two things. Do you think they're doing it specifically to build hype, or is it also a way for them to have the production team focus solely on the first part so they can get it out quicker and then finish part 2 as far as like editing and production? Or do you think they have it completely done and they're just splitting it?
I think everything's going to be done with that by like January 1st if it's not done already. Like I think everything's going to be finalized already, even with part 2. I think it's just pure hype, like with part 1 and part 2, because it worked with Stranger Things and they've seen that. So
yeah, we also worked with Ozark.
Yeah.
And they're doing a little bit more.
I think they're going to do part 1 and part 2s like for every big Netflix original.
That's fair. I mean, Netflix also did say that they are committed to binge uploading. They will not be doing week by week episodes.
Which sucks for me as a Stranger Things fan, but I understand. Like a lot of people don't have patience to wait a whole week.
I loved it with House of the Dragon that just came out recently. If that would have been a binge upload, I would have been very upset because it would have been very unsatisfying because it's heavily leaning on season 2, which we don't know about yet. But other release dates, so Manifest Season 4. We just wrapped up part 1, and I know, guys, if you're a Manifest fan, go listen to, we did 2 podcasts. Probably you're only going to watch the second one. And we discussed it, we broke it down, we talked about theories. So we don't know when it's coming, but everything that I've seen is just saying spring 2023. That's what I'm seeing from people who consider themselves insiders, people who consider themselves, people who just keep up with it like at an expert level. Now, what we're going to need to do to gather hints for this is pay attention to Jeff Rake. Jeff Rake is the creator of Manifest, and every single Sunday for the next 9 Sundays, he's already done one, he's going to be doing a Q&A via Twitter to where he wants you to watch that week's episode. They're doing it to where he wants you to watch it week by week. If you've already binged it, no big deal, but they're doing a Q&A where he's going to actually interact with you guys. He's obviously not going to tell us a release date because I'm not sure they know yet, but you could get some hints.
Maybe by the end of the 10-week
yeah,
watch, I'll say something.
yeah, maybe.
But if I had to guess for a manifest release date, I would probably say it's looking like April 2023, but it might be like, June. I mean, because it is 10 episodes. And they obviously did part 1 and part 2 because they needed time for the second part, it looks like. Like, there's no way they just had this all ready to go. So, I mean, for 10 episodes, it's pretty much like a whole nother season. And, well, not really, but like, because the character development, I guess, is already there. But, you still have 10 episodes of content. So I would say probably April of 2023. At latest, I would say June of 2023. That's my guess. In between those 2 months.
See, I actually, if I had to put a guess in right now, I'd put it for mid-March. Right. Because I think they're really shooting first. I think what's happening is, because they did say this.
The only thing at that, though, is that Outer Banks coming out in March. Like, March is a huge month for movies.
Outer Banks coming out in February.
And TV shows. I know, but part 2 is like mid-March, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, they're doing it. That's only 2 weeks away from the first release.
Well, February 24th, yeah. It might be like late March, but it's going to be in March, I believe, part 2.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, but the reason you want to do it spring break time is because nobody has school. So they have time all day to watch and binge stuff. But yeah, I mean, the reason I say that is because, so I have seen a couple people say this, and I don't know if they came from an official source, but multiple bigger Manifest creators have said that Manifest, like producers have said that they don't know a date yet because they're working on getting it ready and they're trying to get it out as soon as possible. So I don't think it's we're going to make you wait 7 months because we want to make you wait. I think it's we're not done yet.
So, I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll finish up sooner than they think. And
I think that's the reason we don't have a release date. And that's because like Stranger Things, we knew. Like, we knew it was split up. It was ready to go. We knew May 27th.
Well, they had 3 years outside of the COVID year. But.
Well, Manifest has had a while because they got
canceled though, so they kind of got
they got picked up by Netflix in summer of 2021, so they had a year and a half.
Makes sense.
But anyway, so, and I think with them they probably did split it up as far as production goes. I think they've already filmed part 2, but as far as like producing it, I think they did just get part 1 ready, and now they're working on part 2, or they started working on part 2 as soon as part 1 was ready.
It's 10 episodes, so it makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm excited for that. Another one, obviously, Stranger Things 5. That's going to be the talk of the town once it comes out. I don't know.
Talk of the world.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, guys, we have no clue when that's coming out.
I don't think they know either.
Yeah, the Stranger Things 5, Netflix also, here's the problem. Netflix understands that Stranger Things has gotten to a point to where it doesn't matter how long they wait. People will stay excited.
But I don't think, I was just going to mention that. It's funny you mentioned that. I think the hype right now is still fairly big for Stranger Things 5. Like, it's been like 4 or 5 months. It's been like 5 months, actually. Crazy. Since like Volume 2 has happened. Volume 2. I'm pretty sure it's been almost 5 months. So it's almost been half a year since the most recent one. And the hype is still really big. Like, I'm still getting, hundreds of thousands of views on Stranger Things videos. But yeah, it's only been like almost 6 months. So if it's going to be 2024, that's a year and a half of trying to maintain this hype. I don't see a world where it doesn't. I think it's going to drop down. I think the hype's going to drop down a little bit more.
Of course.
Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it'll still be there, though, in some sense. I mean, it's such a big community, but I'm curious to see if they have a plan on how to maintain the hype a little bit. Like, maybe a teaser here or there. I don't know I don't remember how they did for previous seasons, because I'm one of the people who watched in 2017 and then didn't watch until 2022.
No, they hyped it. They hyped it really well, but again, it didn't need to be hyped like Outer Banks needs to be hyped, because people were so rabid about it and just waiting for a new season because COVID really screwed it up.
What do you remember, like, what examples they did for hyping it up or no?
So they released a lot of just like little image teasers that was like like little things with Will staring at the mind flayer with chill bumps, like little hints like what could be to come. I don't remember specific examples, but they stay pretty active on social media. They stay pretty active on Twitter.
Well, for a while there, like in September and October, the Stranger Things writers were putting out like this almost happened in this season. You know, all this almost happened. Like this was almost a character. So I'm hoping for stuff like that because I mean the episode title was enough for like 10 theories. Imagine if they put out an image once a month or every few months or whatever. Like
yeah,
just to maintain the hype because the hype's always going to be there. But I'm afraid that it's going to drop down just a little bit more than it is right now because it is still like less than half a year since it ended. So I feel like it's still there a little bit.
Yeah, I think.
But the hype now is definitely bigger for the next season because it's the finale. So it has to be like it's bigger than probably what it was from previous seasons to the next.
3 and 4 was massive because it had been 3 years.
Okay,
and COVID ruined it. Season 1 to 2 wasn't very big because season 1 wasn't that big. It was big.
Yeah, it wasn't like what it is
but it
now.
blew up on season 2.
Yeah.
And then season 1 became the most beloved season of all time. But well, I take that back. Season 1 was big. Like it trended number 1 on Netflix for like an entire year, but it wasn't on social media as big as like it. Season 2 went viral. Season 3 went viral on like the TikTok, right when TikTok became Musical.ly, which was a fun time. But
yeah,
and then we waited for 3 years. So I don't know. I think most people are assuming summer 2024.
Yeah.
That's the basic assumption. June or July, probably July. I think July
has been like it's been like the common.
July's been when they typically do it. They did this last one in May, but that's because they wanted to do 2 parts. So it could be the same thing, like May and then July again. I don't know. I'm still holding on optimism that it's in fall 2023. I really, and it's not because I think. It's because I think COVID has ruined our perception of how long it takes to produce a TV show.
It definitely has. But they might be taking advantage of that, like, to try to get more time for production.
Well, maybe. And also, Stranger Things is going to take a little bit longer than some shows just because of... just because of all the stuff they have to do. The editing and the CGI that they incorporate is next level. But...
I briefly mentioned this, like, in the Stranger Things Day episode, but I feel like another potential release date could be, like, 2024 New Year's. Just because they never had a New Year's whatever, and like it'd be cool to have either a New Year's themed season or a Christmas themed season.
Christmas season would be crazy.
Like around January 1st of 2024, I feel like would be a pretty solid, fair. Give them enough time, but also get a little earlier for us. I feel like that'd be pretty cool. Like we said, we don't know. So
yeah,
it's all speculation. Like we literally have nothing to go off of, really. I mean.
Yeah,
besides previous season.
Yeah, we're not gonna know. I mean, if you came here for like news on when it's gonna come out,
they could say 2025. I mean, they won't. But
I think it's gonna be at the. I think the latest is summer 2024. I really do. I don't think they would do a fall 2024.
Yeah, I agree. That's too long. I think they genuinely wanted to maintain hype like up until like I think they want that.
I mean, I think in a perfect world they do it summer 2023. They just can't get it done.
They won't be able to get it. Maybe the filming.
They would have had to finish filming. They would have had to start filming in August to get that done.
You think? Yeah. Well, if you want your fall release date, like I think in like November. When you say fall, Halloween. So I mean, they've thrown out like potential filming start dates, which is February.
In reality, for a 10 to 12 episode season,
it's 8. It's 8 episodes.
So 8 episodes, yeah, but it's 10 to 12 in watch time, basically.
Oh yeah.
So for a season like that, it takes 3 months to film. Like it doesn't take that long.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it wouldn't take them that long, and then it's really just wrapping it up, and then you have to go fill in little holes and like come back. I mean, it's 6 months of filming, as in like having people. Like it all depends.
So maybe if they start in February and end in July, they could potentially get it out.
Yeah, because it all depends. Because like when they film, like some days the whole cast isn't even there. They have some people are in their trailers the whole time, and they only have like 2 or 3 of the characters because they're only doing certain scenes. So it's not like everyone's there every day and they're just like filming is a little bit different than I think most people realize it is.
Yeah,
and then so. They can definitely get And they can also go ahead and start, like, once they're filming, once they already have stuff, they get that to the production team. It's not like they film it all and then start editing. Like, they get that to the production team, get it done. They also have, like, writers there to, like, make sudden changes, make things to go along with the actors better if a certain, like, script is going to fit them better. It's, like, I don't
So
know.
according to Cren, guys, we could potentially see Stranger Things in
No,
less than a year.
I'm just
in less than a
saying-
year. That's what you're saying. You're saying less than a year potentially.
from now, but that'd still be a year and a half from season to season, which is plenty of time.
Oh yeah, no, I know. But
So-
we're saying from now, so that's pretty high. Like,
yeah.
but
I don't know. It's probably again 2024 is still the predicted timeline.
okay. But one last question for you, and this is we'll stop at Stranger Things talk after
Okay.
this. If you had to guess on a like on filming, like when if you had to guess when they're gonna release the launch date, when do you think they would release the launch date?
I think we will have a. I think we'll. I don't think we're gonna have a specific date, but I think we'll have a, summer 2024, fall 2023, holiday 2023, like a very broad release date by. I think we'll have it by like Valentine's Day, so by February.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I hope so, because that would be sick. Then we can finally start the countdown.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll be later. Maybe spring break. I don't know. I think it'll be.
My first reaction was summer, but who knows?
Well, if it's summer, then you're definitely looking at a 2024 release date. So I don't know. We'll see. But excited about it. Other shows coming out. So if this is not a Relay thing, but if you're a House of the Dragon fan or a Game of Thrones fan in general, House of the Dragon more than likely is coming 2024. We don't know yet. Depends on when they can wrap up. Snow is coming 2024. That's the sequel to Jon Snow's story. I would call him by something else right now, but we have somebody who hasn't seen Game of Thrones, so I can't talk
I'll
about
watch it before 2024.
No, he won't.
Yeah.
So I can't talk about it. You guys know what I'm talking about, though. But, yeah, there's a lot of big shows coming out. Squid Game. Squid Game is... We don't have a release date yet. I think the assumption there is also 2024, which is... That's a long way away.
And they didn't have any COVID restrictions. Wasn't that released in 2021? Like late 2021 or no?
Squid Game was released... I thought it was earlier this year.
Okay, well, either way, it was like December or January of 2021 or January of 2022.
It was September 2021.
Okay, so it was last fall. So if they do a 2024, then they're doing dang near a 3-year gap.
Well, it might be quicker because they didn't announce a season 2 until June 2022. Like Netflix didn't announce season 2 until this summer. Like it wasn't renewed for season 2 until this summer.
And Stranger Things 5 has been renewed
Well,
since February. They said season.
I think when Netflix bought the story from the Duffers, I think they ordered one season and then a second, and then I think they ordered 3.
Okay.
So I think
so that's different. So then they didn't know they were gonna get renewed probably right away after season 1.
no, we didn't find that out until this past summer. So
it'd be about 2 years since they found out if they do summer 2024.
yeah, which I don't know, could be quicker. They don't need as much.
They did do a teaser at Tatum though, so they already, are in the works.
Yeah, I would actually guess summer 2023 to be honest. I think it's going to be quicker.
That'd be really cool.
But I don't know. I guess we'll find out. All right, so I want to talk about something. So Netflix did just give us some news yesterday on. So Dahmer was just released, and Dahmer broke all kind of Netflix records, day records, week records, all that kind of stuff. We know You is popular on Netflix. It also has broken some records in its own right. The Ted Bundy movie broke some records. There's a lot of different serial killer, stalker type shows really popping off right now. So Netflix actually just handed the creators of Dahmer and have given them access, basically free range, to produce multiple other TV shows based off of other serial killers and do it pretty much in the same style and fashion. So let's just hear your thoughts on this, because I have an article here that I want to bring up that brings up a interesting but dramatic point, and I wanna hear what your thoughts are.
Well, first of all, I don't really know any serial killers. I've never really gotten to that, realm of history, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
So I don't know any like famous serial killers. Is what I'm saying. So I don't know who,
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, I knew Jeffrey Dahmer, but I don't know like I knew Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer. That's probably it.
I mean, they can do.
But there's a lot of people that can do this. Is my point, and I don't know anything about them. But my thought on the whole entire giving them access to make more films about different serial killers, different monsters that the world has seen. I think I don't know. I don't know what to think because a lot of people got offended when I said I don't really like it, and I think it's weird to an extent, which is understandable because I guess some people just watch it just because they think it's interesting. But I don't know. Just when I watched Dahmer and realized that it was a true story, just kept telling myself, "This is a true story. This is a true story. This is a true story." And now that they're going to renew it and allow them to make more stories about, terrifying stories, it's kind of weird to me, and I don't really like it. I'm probably not going to watch the shows, but maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe they're interesting. I kind of have to see it fold out, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I need to see it how it all progresses, I think.
Well, I think the argument is that it's just a little weird that we are like glorifying almost these serial killers.
That's the word that I didn't want to use, but yeah, that's pretty much.
Well, I think that's I just think that's the argument because I don't think that's the purpose of it. I think it's just, here's where the danger comes in from a social aspect is, I mean, obviously you're not crazy. Like you are mentally stable. But when you watch the Joker, and I'm not saying you, I'm just saying in general, when you watch the Joker, like, even if it is a joke, you have these like moments where you're like, oh, I'm about to turn into the Joker. Like, you use the gifts of them a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you just kind of go through this period where it's almost like a joke. Like
you're on your villain arc. Or
whatever. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And most people can distinguish that as a joke and then also like can distinguish the difference between real life and a production. But like there are people out there who have really tough lives. They have some mental issues that they're dealing with that when they watch these things, it glorifies it and it makes them realize, they left a legacy. Maybe this could be me one day. Maybe I could have a Netflix show. And I'm not saying that happens. I'm not trying to sit here and say that it's Netflix's responsibility to not do that because it's not. Netflix is a business. I understand its history. I don't necessarily. I'm in the middle. I don't necessarily think.
I think I'm in the middle as well.
I don't necessarily blame Netflix and say they shouldn't do it, but I also see there are clear dangers with it, if that makes sense.
Because there were fans of Jeffrey Dahmer and Ted Bundy.
I mean, dude, in Colorado, back when The Dark Knight was released, I don't know if you might be too young to remember this.
I am,
but it was like a major, like one of the biggest things in like. It was the biggest thing in American news for a solid month. Like this guy in a Dark Knight showing, like it was when The Dark Knight came out in theaters. This guy dressed up as the Joker and went to go watch it and then shot it up and killed like 11 people and it was just horrifying. Like a lot of people were injured, killed people. And when he was like asked, like when he went to jail, he was like asked, he legitimately thought he was the Joker. Like he thought that movie was about him and he was the Joker. So I know. So you can sit there and laugh and say I'm being crazy, but there is some credence. There's some truth to that.
Yeah. Like you said, some people can't. What's the word you used? Like find the difference between
distinguish the difference between. Yeah, it's just difficult because people become so enthralled with like what they're watching in a production, and it's very difficult for them to realize reality versus what's fake. Because even with these shows, like yes, Jeffrey Dahmer, that was a true story. But if you watch documentaries and you listen to the tapes of Dahmer, you realize a lot of the stuff in the story was really over-exaggerated to make it a better show. Which again, fine. I love cinema. I love shows. Like you gotta over-exaggerate stories. I get it. But like that's the thing. When you actually show it in black and white, it's far more horrifying than the show made it be, and it's a lot less interesting and a lot more terrifying. Like you don't.
Yeah.
If you actually listen to Dahmer talk and you like listen to people around him tell the stories, it's not something you would ever joke about. Like you would never dress up for Dahmer's Halloween. Like the fact that people were doing that to me is terrifying.
Well, it's like, oh, I'm dressing up as Evan Peters. I feel like having one of those Like Evan Peters is one of the most famous actors.
And by
in
the way,
world.
he did an incredible, one of the better jobs I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it was. And I don't know how he did that, to be honest with you, but like when you have an actor like that playing a role like that, people are going to glorify him to an extent. I mean, it's Evan Peters, but I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle on it. There's some negatives to it, and there's some business points to it. So, and people enjoy that type of stuff.
So I'm gonna read this is an article.
Okay.
Okay, so it's by BuzzFeed News. So you gotta take it with a grain of salt. BuzzFeed's whole thing is stirring up drama. But the title of the article is Netflix is being accused of treating serial killers like they're the Avengers. After announcing that Dahmer will return for more seasons focusing on other monstrous figures. So the argument here is that, the Avengers, they have all these different movies and they bring them together as like one big like show. Netflix is doing that because they're doing like a thing like bringing other serial killers into it. Like obviously that's way too far, but like that people are saying that and people are very upset about it. Now again, I don't blame Netflix, but I do see issues in it and I'm worried about it.
I'm worried about it as well. Like I'm worried about it for the reputation and all that stuff. Like, but like I said, I don't know how I feel about it right now. I'm more on like the middle until like whenever I see the movies come out, then I can make my,
So
give my final.
I will say this. I say all of this to say that a part of me will be excited to watch the next. I didn't watch Dahmer. I watched one episode and turned it off. Couldn't keep watching.
Yeah.
But
I only watched 9 episodes. I didn't.
I only watched 9.
I didn't finish it though.
So yeah, but the finish is kind of in the beginning.
Yeah. I guess.
But so, I think I know. I have an assumption on what the next one's going to be. I think there's two options. Either they're going to do a show on Ted Bundy, because they done the movie Extremely Shocking, Wicked, and Incredibly Vile or whatever with Zac Efron. And then there was the Ted Bundy tapes produced by Netflix, which is a documentary. So I think Ted Bundy could be coming next, but also one of the greatest movies of my lifetime with Jake Gyllenhaal is The Zodiac. And do you know the story of the Zodiac Killer?
Mm.
Oh my goodness.
I think I have. I've heard some bits and pieces actually.
So the Zodiac Killer, just a brief synopsis for a lot of you guys, because a lot of you might not have been alive or like really. I mean, I was like really either young or I don't remember, but it was a story that I heard growing up a lot. So the Zodiac Killer was basically he was a serial killer and it was in the LA, like Southern California area, but these people started to die and everybody was like, what the heck? And then these letters started to be sent into newspapers and to the police stations saying I did it, like telling them, but it was all encrypted. So there was like all these like puzzles and codes that they had to like put together, and it was like he would like send letters basically saying it's me, like, laughing at them like you will never find me, you'll search for your entire life and never find me, and like killings kept happening and kept happening. They kept arresting people thinking they caught him, didn't catch him, and then eventually like years went by and they never caught him. Like Zodiac went free, they never caught him. It sounds like an actual
So
movie.
you could be alive right now?
No. They figured out they finally figured it out because the case remained open. The case has been open for 20, 25, 30 years, however long it was. I think it was in the 90s.
Yeah, I think it was too.
And so like back in 2018, 2019, 2020, not too long ago, they actually were able by utilizing DNA and like some cross things that they didn't have back then to prove who it actually was. And the guy actually died back in 2018, so he never got convicted. Like, so the guy...
So he ran free for
He didn't
decades.
even run. And supposedly, he was just
living
a different life, and nobody actually knew who it was, and just got away with it. And, by the way, let's watch the movie sometime. It's incredible. It's Jake Gyllenhaal and all kind of... It's fantastic. But I think Zodiac could be coming next. And if they do a similar plot... Because Jeffrey Dahmer is one of the more terrifying stories of the 20th century. Like, it's one of the more terrifying stories of all time, like in modern history. But This Zodiac is probably the most like, wow, we live in a simulation. There's no way this is a real type of story. That one will go, if they do it, will go viral to the point that we haven't seen before. Like it'll go like Stranger Things and above viral because of just the built-in story, and if they produce it correctly, and if they get a good actor to play it. But
Do you think if they do another Ted Bundy one, they'll have Zac Efron do it again?
no, I don't think Zac Efron would do a TV show like that. But it would be a really good casting. But you know who else would make a great Ted Bundy? Because the thing is you can like change people's hair,
make anyone look like anyone.
A great Ted Bundy would be Penn Badgley, who plays you.
Oh, okay.
He would be one of the best Ted Bundys. Like he would be a perfect Ted Bundy.
Yeah, he would. I mean, he literally like
he looks like him, but with different hair. You fix his hair, he can talk like him.
And he's already played a
stalker.
If you guys haven't seen You, that is a crazy show. I mean, Cren wasn't as high on it as I was, but it leaves you on the edge of your seat for the entire show. I think 3 seasons are out right now. 4th season comes in February, and there's a part 2 to it as well.
Yeah. So wrapping up, a couple things. Sadie Sink, Max from Stranger Things, has a new movie coming out called The Whale. Who did you say?
I hope I don't say it wrong. I think it's Brendan Fraser. I'm not positive if that's his first name. It might be Brandon. I think it's Brendan Fraser.
So that's coming out in December?
I think it's December. But I don't know for sure. But anyways, basically they're hyping up this movie. I've seen on TikTok. They're hyping up this movie based off of Fraser's performance, and like all the critics are like saying this is like one of the greatest performances they've ever seen, and all this stuff. I actually don't even know what the story's about. But it seems like a very emotional, like from the trailer, it seems like a very emotional movie, and I don't know, but apparently like they're the whole entire hype around it is based off his performance. So I'm kind of excited to see that. And of course, Sadie Sink. I haven't seen a Sadie Sink movie yet. I know there's a lot out there, but I'm probably gonna watch this one because of how much the critics have loved it so far. But yeah, that's coming out, I believe, in December. I might be totally wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I heard it was in the trailer just released, so it makes sense if it is December. But yeah, that whole entire movie is being based or hyped up around a performance. So
yeah, it comes out December 9th.
Okay, yeah.
Brendan Fraser is an actor. He plays the lead role. He's been in a lot.
I've seen him before.
So he's in The Mummy, which is like one of the bigger movies of all time. Looks like he's in. I'm just looking through his filmography. He's in a lot of stuff. He's in the Looney Tunes. Good for him. But yeah, I don't know. We'll probably go watch that. Another movie coming out. This is an interesting one. So this is a Netflix. It's not a Netflix produced movie, but it is a Netflix tied movie. So it's Glass Onion, which is a Knives Out mystery. It's in the Knives Out mystery, which Knives Out came out a couple years ago, and it's fantastic, a mystery movie. So guys, if you're interested in mystery movies, I would highly recommend watching this. It has Madeline Klein in it. It has a lot
staff cast.
It has
pretty sure it has Dave Bautista.
Yeah, it has a lot of really top tier acting, so it comes out in theaters November 23rd. But here's the catch: you can only watch it in theaters that day. I think. Hold up, let me make sure I had that right. I think it's that day.
That's insane. If that's true, the theaters are gonna be stacked for that whole entire day.
So it has it's 1 week. So 1 week. Okay. You can only watch it in theaters for that 1 week. And then it's going to go off the shelves. You're not going to be able to watch it. So after November 30th, you cannot watch it until it comes out on Netflix in December. So it comes out on Netflix December 23rd. So you're going to have basically a month period where if you don't watch it in theaters that week, you're not going to know what to do. So you're not going to be able to watch it. And then it'll be Netflix only because it will be a Netflix exclusive. So guys, I would highly recommend going to watch that. Netflix or Universal or Warner Brothers or whoever is the producer and whoever's producing Glass Onion, come talk to us. We'd love to do some work with you. We can help you build hype. 1.5 million followers between the two of us. Yeah. Just saying. But
one last thing.
Yeah.
The Aquaman thing.
Yeah. That I was going to talk about.
Okay, yeah.
So Aquaman or just Aquaman. Jason Momoa. Did he put this out today?
He put this. I think he just put it on Twitter or Instagram, one of the two. But I think it might have been a story.
Yeah.
But he basically made this video, and he was like, "It's November 6th. and I just received potentially the best news of my entire life about a film that whatever. He just hyped it up. He was like screaming, of joy and everything. So, pretty intriguing. First of all, he says he can't say anything about it, but then, it's just announced that DC, or, it's about a DC film.
So it is about DC.
Yeah, it is about a DC film.
It has to be some sort of like massive Aquaman or massive Justice League type of movie, like because he's already done Aquaman.
Yeah, he's already done. That's what I was confused about. It's like, what could be better than his own movie as a superhero?
I don't know. Maybe it's like an Atlantis movie. I have no clue.
Either way, he's really excited about it, so that's gonna be something for you DC fans to get hyped.
Yeah, if you're a DC fan, all 10 of you. Apparently something big is coming, so
yeah.
Maybe they're obviously trying to mimic the MCU at least a little bit. Maybe it's some big like 4-part movie type thing, like a plan that was released. It doesn't have to be one specific movie.
Have they done TV shows?
Yeah, of course. They have Flash,
maybe it's a TV show.
Could be it could be an Aquaman TV show.
I think maybe
He's
been doing a lot of work recently.
I didn't think about that. That could be an Aquaman TV show. Yeah. I mean,
so
man,
only time will tell, though.
Khal Drogo is really making it up in the world ever since he. Well, I'm not going to ruin Game of Thrones for you guys, but but with that being said, shorter episode. We're going to wrap it up because we have some things to get to. But that's a little bit of news on Netflix. Kind of a slow news day. We'll have more for you guys tomorrow. Again, if you want us to talk about something specific, DM us on Twitter or Instagram, preferably Twitter, or leave it in the comment on YouTube. And then Relay. Let the people know where they can find you.
RelayTS on all socials: TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch. Just at RelayTS. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Join our Discord.
Yep. Join the Discord. You can find me at Crenbeast, all platforms. Like he said, in the description of this video, you're going to find a Discord link. Go to it, click on it, join it. Once we get that built up, we're going to be doing some movie nights, watch parties. You're going to be able to join different channels for different TV shows, movies to discuss with other people your theories on it, just have discussions about it. We'll have a spoiler chat and a non-spoiler chat. And then also leave us a 5-star review. Go follow our socials. We would really appreciate it. We have some great things coming. We'll be giving out a lot. We're doing some giveaways. Hopefully we'll be partnering with some people to do some giveaways. Got a lot of different stuff coming. But with that being said, we'll catch you in the next episode of Popcorn Talks. Peace.